Hello and welcome. I'm Rosemary Levesque with Second Nature Healing, and this is um, the which course is it? 12, 13, 14, I think the 15th class in the Wellness Universe series on toxic obesity this time. But what we've been doing is talking about optimal health, and welcome. Welcome to the lounge. Welcome to the Wellness Universe. Welcome to my class series. I am your expert leader and instructor today for this class series, and thank you so much for joining me. It's called Optimal Healing, and this is the second year of it. That's why I'm confused on the number of classes. We meet monthly. It is every second Thursday at this time. It's noon Pacific. And as a Wellness Universe leader, my intention is for you to enjoy abundant health and learn more about the tools you can use for natural healing. And the Wellness Universe brings experiences like this to you because we believe happy, healthy, healed humans leads to peace globally. So I'm going to put a link into the chat here. Yeah, there. So the link is in the chat. It should accompany the recording, and it will tell you how to get in touch with me. There's my email. There's my Wellness Universe class link. And if you wanted to register for the Optimal Healing class on my website on secondnaturehealing.com, you can have supplemental materials like the notes that I have for you from the class, and any handouts or images like that. So as you join in, please go ahead and say hi in the chat. I'd like to know you're here, and ask any questions as they come up. Now, today's topic is no pun intended, a really big topic. It's about obesity, and certainly no laughing matter. I was looking at maps earlier today online. Let me see if I can find them still in my tabs. Frontiers and obesogens. No, I'll have to put it into my obesity prevalence, adult obesity prevalence. Here we go. Maybe this one. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to put this link into our class. Where are we? Here we are. So there's a link that talks about how prevalent obesity is, and then it also can be divided up by state. You can research this. It's a very interesting topic, at least it is to me. And I got to thinking about how obesity, or the tendency toward obesity, has changed over the years, and why it has happened and what it is related to. Now, I remember seeing these maps some years ago. Pretty much with every presentation on quote unquote weight loss, people talk about these maps showing where the heaviest people in the United States live. And because these maps are self-reported obesity ratings, I don't know how accurate they are. But the trend over time is also very interesting to look at, because the trend over time looks at how people were less fat, less obese. There was a smaller prevalence of obesity 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago. There weren't as many obese people as there are today. And so those conversations, those presentations were more about how the food industry has changed, how we have more fast foods, how people are more sedentary. And so then the the solution then became eat less, move more, right? Have you heard that one before? Eat less, move more. And for some people, that used to work. I remember it did work for me after I had my children and I had put on some pounds. I did eat less, I did move more, and it worked. I did lose the weight. And then over time, these pounds crept back on. I had to buy bigger clothing. I had to um, understand that this was happening to me, even though I was not really changing much in my life. I wasn't eating desserts all the time. I wasn't eating fat all the time. I was exercising. I was going to the club. I was doing things, but the pounds still crept on. And it wasn't until recently that, and I would say in the past 2 years, about a year and a half, that I started changing things a little bit more with an understanding that it's not just about eating less and moving more. It's about a bigger picture than that. So I'm going to ask about how you feel about this trend over time. Are people eating more of the wrong foods? Are they practicing a more sedentary lifestyle? Are they doing that? Well, I don't know. I had a conversation the other day with a friend who is overweight. She knows she's overweight. She said, I don't eat very much. I eat a lot of vegetables, is what she said. And I've known her for years. She has been carrying extra pounds for a long time. And I just could feel the frustration in her voice that, gee, all I eat is vegetables, right? She says, I'm not really a vegetarian, but I'm careful about what I eat. And so if you can relate to that, just kind of let me know if you can relate to that, because this is a really big issue. People are eating less, they are moving more, and they are not getting getting anywhere. You betcha, Julie says. So in thinking about this more, something wonderful came along in my path, and that was, I'm going to show you a product, and then we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about why this trend is happening. So for me, this product came along, and it's a fiber product that has an orange flavor, and it's also got a detox in it. Now, when I started taking that fiber product, something magical happened. Now, I'm not a person who doesn't eat fiber. I eat a lot of fiber. I have my oats, I have lots of fruits and vegetables, all of those wonderful things. And my digestive system feels really healthy. I go to the bathroom when I need to go to the bathroom, which is every day. It's not a big deal. So I felt like, okay, I'm pretty healthy. I've been using our mineral detox, our cell defender. I've been using this for nearly 18 years. So I don't have a lot of toxins going on, but there was something off. So I added the fiber to my protocol after changing a few things in my diet. I stopped drinking coffee, and I understood how foods felt in my body. And so the foods that didn't feel good in my body, I stopped those. I didn't want milk products anymore. And that included, a little bit of ice cream once in a while. It included yogurt. It included milk. I'm not drinking milk either, or sour cream. None of that felt good in my body anymore. So I just stopped that. Being sensitive to what feels good in your body is pretty important. So I started doing these things, just making little shifts, being aware, and the pounds started coming off. And I thought, okay, this is really interesting. I haven't changed much of anything else, but I did change my microbiome. I changed the biology of my gut, and I understood the timing of things, and also the sensitivity of foods. But let's get back to talking about obesity just for a minute here. Actually, for more than a minute. It's a big topic regarding what really causes it, because the trend over time for people in the United States has been that the pounds are coming on and they're not leaving. And people are trying to get them to leave and it's not happening. So there has to be some other underlying issue. It's not just about what you're eating or eating less of it. It's perhaps what's in the food, what's in the environment. What are you absorbing? What are you inhaling? What are you putting on your skin? What are you putting in your gut? And studies are now showing that there is something called obesogens. Obesogens, these are chemicals that are found in the environment, in the food, in products that you use, and they affect changes to your biology. So let's talk about obesogens. I have in my notes here some vocabulary for you. So let's go over that. Obesogens are toxic chemicals that influence the body to become obese, which may include EDCs. EDCs are endocrine disrupting chemicals. Endocrine disrupting chemicals. Well, what's endocrine? You have a whole system in your body called the endocrine system, and that includes the development of your brain and your nervous system, the metabolism of your body, your metabolism and your blood sugar levels. It includes the growth and function of your reproductive organs, the female ovaries, the male testes, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal glands. All of these glands work together to form the endocrine system. So there, I'm going to include that in the notes. There's an image, you can get it online, of the endocrine system. So your thymus, your thyroid, all of the parts of your body that regulate growth and metabolism. Now, when all of those things are working properly, then the body's pretty healthy, right? When you can burn the food that you eat and use those calories to move, to think, to do all the functions that you need to do to live, then things are working well. However, things don't work well when there are toxins in the way. Toxins, heavy metals, volatile organic compounds, endocrine disrupting chemicals. All of these chemicals were not present in our early history. We didn't have, before the Industrial Revolution, we didn't really have to deal with chemicals in the air, heavy metals. Well, maybe a little bit of heavy metals, the Iron Age, right? But it wasn't so prevalent for us to have all these chemicals in our food, in our water, in our air, in our products that we're using. That didn't exist, and obesity didn't exist. So when we look at the dangers of obesity, of being overweight, the doctors get a little nervous. They say, oh no, you're obese. That means you're at risk for heart disease, stroke, diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, and then they want to put you on medications, right? And so take a step back from that just for a minute and ask, does obesity cause those things to happen? Or does something cause obesity and cause those things to happen? In other words, is obesity the culprit, or is it just another symptom of toxicity? So here we have toxins like mercury, cadmium, lead, arsenic, aluminum, those kinds of heavy metals. Also, volatile organic compounds, plastics, the PCBs and the phthalates, the flame retardants and stain resistant chemicals and the plastic softeners. What do they put into children's toys to make them flexible, or dogs' toys to make the plastic flexible instead of stiff? And so all of these chemicals in the environment cause, and all the studies are pointing in this direction, those chemicals are causing heart disease, cardiovascular of all situations, neuromuscular diseases like MS, Parkinson's, and so forth. They're causing brain fog, Alzheimer's. They're causing autism. They're causing stroke, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, fibromyalgia. All of those toxins are causing all those things, and they are causing obesity. So in other words, obesity is another disease symptom of toxicity. So we really have to reframe what we're dealing with here before we can get to how to fix it. Because in this optimal healing series, that's always my goal, is to help you find a natural solution to these situations, right? So how many people go to the doctor because they can't sleep? Or they go to the doctor because they're in pain, or they go to the doctor because they have high blood pressure, or they go for a checkup and they are told, you have high blood pressure, you have high cholesterol, you have this, you have that, and you're this much overweight. Let's put you on this medication or these medications, right? That seems to be the solution for many medical professionals. Not all. No, I have a doctor who told me once when I used to go see doctors. She's a friend, so she said, "Well, you're a little overweight. Why don't you try to take it off, because it is influencing your cholesterol. I'm concerned," she said. That was a long time ago. And I got ahead of it. I took care of it. I had my cell defender at the time, and I took care of it. I made some adjustments, and I got rid of the weight, and my cholesterol evened out. It was all good. So I was able to fix it naturally. But how many people go to the doctor and they're told this, and they're given the option? It's not an option. It's not a choice necessarily, because they're told, here, you have to take this. You have to take this for the rest of your life, right? In the meantime, you're just adding another chemical that your body is trying to deal with. So let's talk a little bit about the chemicals and what they actually do in the body. So there is another term. It's epigenetics. Epigenetics. You may have heard about epigenetics. One of the favorite books I have talks all about epigenetics. It's a book called The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. And he talks about epigenetics, which is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. In other words, he was saying, Dr. Lipton was saying, it's not your genes, it's the environment. It's the environment of your genes that influence how the genes manifest, how the genes are expressed. So, for example, if you have stress or stressors in your life, that can affect the way the genes are acting up, which ones show up. So if you have stressors like toxins in your environment, that can also influence how the genes show up in your body. They activate certain genes that might not have been activated before. So that's a little bit about epigenetics. It's gene expression. It refers to how often or when proteins are created from the instructions within your genes. So the genes are there, they're working anyway, but what are the genes doing? And this is where epigenetics comes in. And so if we see that there are some environmental factors that turn genes on, when those genes are turned on, then they can affect change in your body. They can cause you to gain weight. They can cause you to be have a higher risk for cancer. They can cause you to have weight gain. They can cause you to protect yourself with fat, in other words. So it's easy to see how, if we look at epigenetics, we can see there is a connection between the environment and what is actually happening in the body. So the environment is not just toxins, it's also circumstances, it's your relationships, it's your emotions, it's really everything all put together. So how concerned should we be about obesity levels here in the United States? Well, I got some statistics for you. The US obesity prevalence was about 42% in 2017 to 2020. It's about 42% of the population of the United States was considered obese. And then from, uh, let's see, during that same time, the prevalence of severe obesity increased from 4.7 to 9.2%. In other words, it about doubled. I guess there's a category of obese and then severely obese. So the severely obese population nearly doubled. And it's estimated that the annual medical cost of obesity in the United States was nearly 173 billion, that's with a B, billion dollars in 2019. And medical costs for adults who had obesity were about $1,800 higher than medical costs for people with healthy weight. So if we take a look at the insurance piece of this, for people who have insurance, who's paying for the insurance? All the healthy people who hope they don't get sick, have an injury, fall off a ladder or whatever it is. We're paying for the insurance of everybody else who is not dealing with their bottom line health issues. They are on medications, they are having surgeries, they are having treatments for cancer, they are, not well. They are using the system as sick care. So we're going to try to reverse that. We're going to try to reverse that thinking and give you some solutions. Because the truth is, it is getting harder to lose weight. Just like my friend who says, I'm only eating vegetables. Well, that's really hard to lose weight, right? Because I know for a fact she's not dealing with the obesogens. She's not dealing with the toxins that are interfering with every metabolic function in her body. Well, how does that happen? What do obesogens actually do? Well, let's see if I can find something here. Obesogens may promote obesity by increasing the number of fat cells. So if you are fairly lean, but all of a sudden you start increasing the number of fat cells, that could be caused by obesogens. In other words, your body is getting ready to store fat that it is not getting rid of. Obesogens increase the storage of fat in existing fat cells. So if you have some fat cells, and you do, breast tissue in your brain, cushioning your joints, around your middle, those are places where fat is generally stored. But if you are increasing how much fat is being stored in those cells, that can be related to obesogens. Altering the rate of fat cell production versus destruction. Are you creating and storing more fat than you are burning and getting rid of it? That's probably related to obesogens. Shifting the energy balance to favor calorie storage. Now, you see this with some animals naturally in nature. The bears, they'll store their fat before they go into hibernation. The whales, they'll store their fat before they take a long journey. You know, they'll eat lots of salmon and uh, lots of prey before they make a long journey, for example, um, before migration. But for humans living in modern society, we really don't have that lifestyle. We're not migrating. We're not nomads. Most of us are not nomads anymore. We have a sedentary lifestyle. So if we're piling on the fat, it could be the result of obesogens. Obesogens change the basal metabolic rate, the BMR, which is how many calories your body needs to fulfill its basic functions. We talk a lot about, okay, what increases metabolism? You can increase metabolism by creating more muscle, right? If you create more muscle, your metabolism goes up, your fat goes down. That's the way exercise programs work, weight loss programs work. They try to change your BMR. And it's getting harder to do because obesogens are interfering with your metabolic rate. Altering your gut microbiome to promote food storage. So this is one of the things that I worked on. I worked on my gut microbiome because if you have an unhealthy gut, you're going to leak toxins, undigested food from your gut into your bloodstream. It's going to activate your immune system. Everybody's going to get upset, and you're not going to digest your food properly. You're not going to move fats through your digestive system properly. You're not going to absorb the calories the right way. You're not going to move things along the proper way. So you have to have a good microbiome, a gut microbiome, the good bacteria and the prebiotics, the fiber that support the microbiome. They all work together. And all of this, when you do this, when you heal your gut, then you are also helping your immune system. It's just amazing how it all works together. Modifying hormonal control of appetite and fullness. So if you have obesogens interfering with your body, you're also interfering with how hungry you are. And um, if you're feeling full or not, those are turned off. Those sensors are turned off when you have obesogens. The other fact that is not on my list here, but I'm going to add to the list, is that if you have obesogens, you are supporting the lifestyle and environment of parasites. And when you have parasites in your body, they are just as happy as can be. And they like your toxicity, they like your acidity, they like your environment. And so they're going to interfere with how you feel about food. They're going to want you to eat more sugar. They're going to want to have an acidic environment. When you have an acidic environment, you're going to create more opportunity for cancer cells. Do you see how all this is coming together? How it all works together? And so we have to deal with the obesogens. We have to deal with the gut microbiome. We have to take care of the toxins, get rid of them. And we have to support the metabolism of the body. It's almost like retraining your endocrine system, retraining your gut so that it begins to work better in your favor. So research has found that the EDCs, the endocrine disrupting chemicals, are present in the placenta. They are present in the amniotic fluid and in the umbilical cord blood. All of these environmental toxins, the endocrine disrupting toxins, are already present where the fetus is growing. And so even before a human is born, they have the propensity to become obese. Fat babies, sick babies with asthma, with autism, with respiratory disorders, with, needing inhalers, um, not being able to think clearly, not being able to fully grow to their capacity because of the toxins that are present in the mother that are influencing the fetus in the womb. So we know this is for a fact. We know these chemicals are present in the womb. They are present in the new babies. They get it from their mother. So the solution has to be, we have to go back, because obesity is transgenerational. It crosses generations and it accumulates from generation to generation. So the fat babies of today, if they never deal with their toxins, they're going to have fatter babies in the next generation. People are going to get sicker and sicker unless they deal with the obesogens, the toxicity in the environment, and the toxicity in their personal biome. I know that's a lot, but I do have solutions for you. Now, I have another diagram. It's kind of hard to read. More diagrams. You can find these online, and I can give you the links for these in follow-up materials. But all of these obesogens change pretty much every function in your body. So if you're wondering, gee, with what I have going on in my body right now, if I do nothing about it, if I try to just lose weight the natural tried and true way of eat less, move more, what's still going to be going on in my body? Am I going to be able to lose the weight? If I lose the weight, is it going to make me sick? Am I going to have some sort of breakouts, Herxheimer reactions, detox symptoms? Is that going to happen? No, not if you do it my way. So to win this battle, if you want to call it a battle against obesity, I would just like to call it, if you want to come into harmony with the natural state of what your body wants to be, before all the toxins came and polluted everything we've got, air, water, food, products we put on our skin, everything. If you want to come into alignment with that natural way of being, then I would like to suggest you do several things. One is detoxify the heavy metals. Pull the heavy metals out. I have my product here, which comes from a crystal. So the crystals in nature will pull stuff out of the environment. So the crystals are dirty, and our biochemist has figured out how to clean these crystals, how to make them small enough to get into the blood. So you need to consider taking those toxins out. Clean your kidneys, clean your brain, clean your gut, clean all of your organs in your body when you take your detoxification mineral. Then I would add the fiber that I talked about. Now, this is not psyllium husks. This is not going to scratch up your gut. What's in here is very, very gentle fiber, inulin, oat fiber, apple pectin, just very, very gentle. With you mix it with water, it's got an orange flavor, and this mineral is in the fiber. So they work together. They'll pull the toxins out of your gut. They'll make the environment less inflamed, healthier. You're going to feel better. You're not going to be leaking toxins into your blood anymore. You're not going to be irritating things. Anything living in your gut that doesn't need to be there, any parasites, will often be moved out. And we're seeing this from colon hydrotherapists who are using these products, that the parasites are coming out like they've never seen before. Would you like to get rid of your parasites? Yes? Okay, let's do this then. And the couple of other things I would do. I would add these medicinal mushrooms, which also has our mineral in it, because remember, a leaky gut is going to aggravate the immune system. And pretty much everybody has a leaky gut. I'd be surprised if you didn't. When you leak stuff into your blood from your gut, when you're leaking undigested foods into your blood, it is activating your immune system. And when you activate your immune system, you send out your warriors, you send out your white blood cells to go fix things. And when you try to fix things, your body is attacking itself. It learns how to attack itself. It interferes with the communication system of what belongs, what doesn't belong. And so these medicinal mushrooms are immune modulators. It's like giving everybody a walkie-talkie. It's like saying, okay, I've got this, no problem. Okay, they're talking to each other. They know which cells belong, which ones don't belong. The other thing I would add is our trim science. So it looks like this, and it comes in different flavors. This one's chocolate. We have it in coffee, matcha tea, and lemonade. I like to mix, personally, matcha tea with lemonade. That makes a wonderful iced beverage. I like to mix coffee and chocolate. It makes a wonderful mocha, but each flavor by itself is also good. And the ingredients here in the trim science are amazing. I'll give you this document too, or a link to it. Let's go over what's in here, because we have a few minutes. Guarana seed extract. Now, guarana seed extract is very popular among weight loss products. It feels like caffeine in your body. It's a natural caffeine, equal to about a cup of coffee. Now, some people can't drink coffee. It makes their heart pound out of their chest. Coffee affects me that way too. Guarana seed in this product, in Trim Science, does not affect me that way. Because there is GABA in here, GABA, and GABA is a neurotransmitter that helps soften the effects of caffeine. And so when you're taking guarana seed extract and GABA together, this neurotransmitter of GABA blocks impulses between the nerve cells and the brain, and it helps to provide mental focus. You feel more focused. It reduces that jitteriness that you might get with caffeine. And GABA, again, pretty common in weight loss products. There's citrulline, there's Garcinia cambogia, which has been used in weight loss products for a long time. There's ginseng extract. There's Mucuna pruriens extract, which is a natural legume that is high in the neurotransmitter L-DOPA, so it helps you feel better. It helps you feel more satisfied. It helps to reduce your cravings. Green tea extract, which is a wonderful antioxidant. It has NAC, N-acetyl L-carnitine, which is a natural amino acid that aids in the transport of fats into the mitochondria. So in other words, it's a fat-burning ingredient. Phaseoalanine is from white kidney beans. It blocks the function of alpha amylase, which normally breaks down carbohydrates, and it acts as a carb blocker. So we're talking about fat blockers and carb blockers and focus, energy enhancers, metabolism increase without jitteriness, and there's also some noto ginseng extract, which helps you burn fat. So not only are you blocking fat and blocking carbs, you're also burning them more efficiently. There's lion's mane mushroom in here, which helps to regulate blood sugar. You want to help even out how the sugar is moved through the body. You don't want these spikes and downs, ups and downs. You want it to be even. Lion's mane mushroom extract helps with that. Plus, it's an antioxidant. It's really good for your cells. And breviscapine extract, which helps promote healthy circulation and mental focus. So when you put all of these together with our zeolite, because the zeolite is in here too, you're going to pull out the obesogens, block the fat, block the carbohydrates, feel good, feel like you have mental focus, have an even blood sugar, blood cholesterol. And so what we're talking about here is kind of an arsenal here for toxic obesity. Now I'm going to add one more here because I like this. I like these products and how they work together. So we've got the detox here. We've got something for blocking fat and helping block carbohydrates, helping increase your metabolism, supporting the immune system, supporting your gut. And when you do all of those things together, you end up with the kind of balance that no other weight loss program can manage at all, because all the other weight loss programs are dealing with eat less, move more. And we are very likely, can't say for certain, but we are very likely the only program that involves detoxification, and highly, highly recommend using this detoxification because there are no side effects. We want you to feel better, be happier, have a better outcome, and make it easy for you to lose the weight that you didn't think you could lose, because it seems that nobody else is talking about this. You know, I remember years ago, there was a company I worked with that had heavy shoes. And they thought, okay, this is the answer. If we help build up the muscles in your legs by giving you shoes that are weighted, and they looked kind of like sneakers, but like something Frankenstein might wear, right? They were heavy, heavy weighted shoes. And you could control the amount of weight that you could put into them because they fit like an insole inside the shoe. They had a lighter weight and a heavier weight. And the idea was, go for walks in these shoes and you'll increase muscle mass in your legs so that you can increase your metabolism. So the goal for that was to increase your metabolism by moving more with heavy weights. Now, it wasn't really good for my joints. It didn't help my knees or my ankles or my feet or my back. It was hard on my body to be imbalanced in that way. It was sort of a false way to do it because I didn't wear those shoes all the time, right? And I really tried, and the weight did not come off. My legs felt a little stronger, but the joints were hurt. Now, I could show you my middle, but I've lost 19 pounds gradually, safely over a long period of time. Starting with, I've been on this for years, just the detox all by itself. Next, I added the fiber. And I've also been taking the mushrooms for a long time. But then what really did it was the combination of these. Dealing with toxic obesity, dealing with the obesogens, dealing with having a healthy gut made all the difference. And then tuning into yourself, your body, your higher guidance cannot be overlooked. You know me, I'm an energy healer. I'm a licensed spiritual healer. And because I do energy work, I am very sensitive, and hope that you are as well, to how foods feel in your body, how stress feels in your body, how relationships feel in your body, how your environment feels in your body, because all of those things matter. When you're talking about toxic obesity, your body will also create its own toxins that interfere with all of the functions that we've been talking about. Mainly, we're dealing with the endocrine system and how the endocrine system manages growth, manages metabolism, manages digestion and sleep and all of those things. And we also want to support the healthy gut. So we can't overlook any of these pieces if we're going to find a solution, a real solution for obesity. So those maps that you can find online, just do a Google search for obesity trend over time. Or here's another one to look for. I was trying to match one map above another. Toxin prevalence. So this is from the Environmental Protection Agency. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Endocrine, adult obesity, obesogens. I can't find it right now. But if you put in a search for the prevalence of toxicity on a map in the United States, you will see the most toxic areas in the United States, and they have narrowed it down to where you live. Now, can you overlap the toxins map with the obesity map? There is some correlation, but remember, the obesity map isn't 100% because it's self-reported. People are reporting themselves as being in that weight range. So is there an overlapping of obesity with toxic areas in the United States? Yeah, to some degree, yes, there is. However, it's not 100% because the toxins that are produced in an area in the United States don't necessarily stay there, because food gets grown in one place and transported to another place where people eat it. And so the toxins that are in that food chain supply, in those crops, the GMOs, the pesticides, and all the chemicals that they're putting on those crops, even though that area might be toxic, those foods that are grown there are transported often in plastic containers that have been irradiated, that have, other stuff going on. And so we can't have 100% overlap of, oh, it's toxic here. Oh, you're going to be obese if you live there. It's not quite like that. I tried. It's not quite like that. But there is a correlation between toxicity and obesity. We know this now to be true. So it's not your fault. If you are toxic and you have extra weight, and if you are considered overweight, obese, even if you're 10 pounds overweight, that's a level of obesity that I was at. I'm not there anymore. So I would like to say that you can make some shifts in your awareness, shifts in your knowledge now, because I am providing you with the knowledge and my experience and me as a resource so that you can bypass, toxic obesity completely if you deal with the obesogens, become sensitive to yourself, and move in that direction of being free and clear as much as possible. It's not a one-time fix, it's a lifetime fix. It's a lifestyle. So I'm going to pause just for a moment. Do you have any questions for me before I turn off the recording? I'd like to have any questions that you feel could be public. And if not, then I'll just turn off the recording and you can ask me without being recorded. Let me put in the link here. Looks like, okay. Okay. So Julie says, no questions, but this all makes sense. I worked in a steel mill for 2 years and sure, I'm very toxic. Yes, yes. So we didn't talk at all about where you have worked. We've talked about where you've lived and what you've eaten, but where you have worked matters. What about the people who repair cars, who are around exhaust or gasoline or solder, right? Soldering irons, repairing stuff around wires, and um, that could be plumbers, it could be construction, almost I mean, even office workers, they've got the indoor pollution plus the wiring in the computer and the off-gassing of foam from furniture and the stain resistant on furniture. And even if you fly, or especially when you fly, you've got all the chemicals that they've put on flame retardants that are on the seats on the plane. So you're inhaling all of that too. You're absorbing that through your skin. So really, there is no safe place. There's no safe place, whether you're living there or working there, or your parents, your mom especially, used to have that job or that situation. So, occupation, yeah, that matters too. So, I've given you a lot to think about, I hope. Please feel free to reach out to me through the Wellness Universe or through my website, secondnaturehealing.com. The links are here in the chat. And I'm going to just go ahead and pause this recording. So if you feel like you'd like to give feedback on this course, please leave a rating for me. And this is all free or donation based. You are honored and appreciated if you want to leave a donation, but it is not required. Okay, thanks everybody. I look forward to hearing from you again. I'm Rosemary Levesque with secondnaturehealing.com, presenting to you from the Wellness Universe.